Hey guys, so I'm here to tell you what I thought about this week's readings. So to start, I read this first, On Writing Well by William Zinsser. I really liked the excerpt that you had us read this week because it went over an unconventional way of teaching writing. He went over a part where he was talking about how so many students are afraid of deadlines. Like it's due on Friday or it's due on Saturday at a certain time. So you're rushing through the week trying to get it done as fast as you can, as efficiently as you can, and sometimes, the outcome is not as best as it could be. So the way he taught his class was he didn't really have any deadlines. You wrote. He'd tell you to think of something and how you want to write it, why you want to write about it, and then just write it. There's no deadlines, and the whole class was just him lecturing on how to be a better writer. I did enjoy how he didn't want it to be as mainstream as it usually is. So instead of just trying to get a book out there to sell and having it kind of half-assed, he was like, really think about it and try and write it to the best of your ability so that when it comes out, it's not just something that can be marketable, it's something that's personal and real. So that's what I really enjoyed about the On Writing Well. Now, on to Shitty First Drafts, I enjoyed that as well. It was really good because it's a different outlook on how to write. I think as I started college in 2010, I was taught to write kind of robotically. You gotta list everything out and plan everything out, and I think that's what people think of writers nowadays, is that they sit there and make an entire list, and sometimes it's good to just sit back and let your writing flow. And I've done that personally, and most of the time the outcome is a lot better than just sitting there and making a big logistical plan on how I'm going to write the paper. What's nice about the approach that Shitty First Drafts was talking about is that it becomes more personal because you write a lot of your soul, essentially, very raw. And then as you move along, you cherry pick pieces of that and put it into your final piece, which I find to be extremely personal and good. It's a good way to write. It's a good way to get your feelings out there and let people know, well, your readers and your audiences essentially, who you are and where you're coming from with the piece that you're writing. So with Shitty First Drafts, I really enjoyed his take on how to write and how to edit yourself and let yourself just free flow onto the page. I'm talking about a place that's important to me. It's not necessarily a place that you can just, like a building or anything. There's many of these things all over the world. For me, it's the stage, the theatrical stage. I was a thespian in high school, and I did a lot of acting on stage work, and I personally enjoyed that platform because it let me be someone else for a while, not just myself, but a character who I like to embody. Having characteristics of myself that I necessarily wouldn't put out into the world unless I was on that platform. So what I really enjoy is there was one time that I did a monologue about a man who was middle-aged, and he was mentally deficient at about 45 years of age. And there was a point in the monologue where there's a time freeze in the play, and he comes out of his mental deficiency and talks and says what he would say if he wasn't mentally deficient. And it kind of gives an outlook on people who are mentally disabled. He's basically speaking for that community and telling the courts that he's in front of who he really is, and that he's just a simple guy, and he's not looking for anything more than the help he deserves in the state of life that he's in. So I really enjoy that platform, and being in that place. That's the place, the important place I would choose. And the way I would want to write about it is in a memoir state, because I want a state competition doing that monologue. So I would want to do that as a memoir, kind of going back and going over the process it took to get there, the rehearsal time, all the stuff that went into making that piece exceptionally special. So that is the place I would want to pick, and that's the way I would want to write about it if I decided to go ahead and write about that place. Well, looks like the time's almost up, so thanks, guys, and see you later.